right. We are here. Oh my God. I feel like it's been so long since we did this last episode. I got major hat hair. Give me a break. Um, no, but we're vibing out. We're in the studio. It's late at night. It's about 9 p.m. here in Los Angeles. Thank you very much. But no, just wanted to make sure everything's right. Let me get a sip of water really quick. I can't be doing a fucking podcast on dehydration. Thank you very much. Yeah, that was probably some ASMR that nobody asked for. No though, we're here. We're vibing. Guess who's back? Back again. I don't know why I'm checking my email, but I am. Make sure that's right. Go ahead. All right. Well, without further ado, welcome back to episode 34 of the Mackin Show, your place for some fun bullshit, life entertainment updates, what I'm doing. We're breaking down some fun shit. I don't really have exactly a cue or a niche of what this podcast is, but I like to talk about some fun shit. Definitely some pop culture entertainment stuff regardless, but welcome back. Cue the claps. That I don't know how to add yet. You'll see that I know how to add a cooler title now. I learned that on Premiere Pro, but no, that was some rambling. But regardless, we are back in the studio. We're 34 episodes deep, which is crazy. To say that we've done 34 of these so far. It's been fun. Last episode, got to, I guess not interview, but sit down, chill, talk with my lovely girlfriend, Miss Emma. And we're gonna have some more fun guests coming up soon. I promise. We're working on it. Okay, it's not the easiest thing ever to just when you're not famous, snap your hands and snap your fingers and get cool guests and whatnot. So we're working on it. It's gonna happen. It'll happen. Just give me some time. I promise. We'll have some fun stuff in here. But no, we're back. I'm really trying to think. It's been kind of a chill week since the last episode. Like life-wise, there hasn't really been much going on. We've been chilling. Work stuff has been crazy. We're going to USC tomorrow for work. Shout out the Trojans. Shout out Bronny, who's not there anymore. We're going to get into the NFL draft, but shout out Caleb Williams, just got drafted number 1. But no, other than that, we've kind of just been chilling, going to San Diego tomorrow. Also, we go to USC for work, and then after work, we're going to San Diego for the weekend with some friends. Shout out Caitlin and Brett. That'll be fun. Never been to San Diego. Never heard a bad thing about San Diego either. But no, it's fun. We had a work dinner at Catch last night, which was really cool. I always love going to Catch for work. I'm getting a call from my girlfriend. Hello?
What dryer did you say it was in?
Number 20.
20?
Yeah.
I think it's fucked up.
Why?
I don't know. It says something weird on it.
Is it? I mean, you can open it up. It's our stuff.
Okay.
All right, and let me know if it didn't work.
Bye.
All right, bye. All right, well, I guess the dryer that I tried to dry my clothes in earlier was fucked up. So there was Miss M. But regardless, I love going to Catch Steak for work because Catch Steak isn't really the type of place that I would go frequently if not for work. Mostly along the lines of because it's very, very nice. Let me just tell you, the food is amazing. I'd probably go there every other night if I could, but it's a little on the expensive side. And I'm not balling right now. I've always been, honest and open with this podcast. I'm not sitting here flexing and whatnot. I live like my means, and I'm not balling, so we don't go to Catch all the time. We're more of a Barney's Beanery Saddle Ranch type of people. But no, Catch was great. We went out for work. Team dinners are always great. Like, our team's super fun. Our bosses are great, and fun. They like to have a good time, to put it simple, and they always do have a good time, and they're entertaining. So no, Catch was super cool. Really just been tuning into playoffs right now and the draft tonight, which I'll talk about, and some beef going on. But no, other than that, we've been chilling. Like I said, some travel coming up. And yeah, other than that, there really hasn't, I want to sit here and give you guys some more life updates, or even something that is annoying to me or that I don't like, but I just I couldn't, you know what? I'll air a grievance out because it happened on my drive here to the office. Something about LA people that annoys the shit out of me is they don't understand that left lane is a passing lane. If I'm driving and the right lane is going significantly faster than the left lane, we got a problem. Left lane is absolutely the passing lane. You should not be going slower in the left lane. If you got to turn left at some point, be in the right lane until you got to go over to. Simple as that. It's some driving etiquette. Second off, on that note, and this infuriates me more than anything else, if I have somewhere to go, if I got to be somewhere and I'm not sitting here cruising and I'm not speeding, but I'm trying to get somewhere, and you're turning into the turn lane, you have like the right lane, left lane, and then say people who go left, there's a third lane for people who go left, if you catch my drift. And those lanes kind of start relatively long. People in LA seem to think it's okay that if that lane's not occupied and if they have to use that lane, they don't turn into that lane until like 10 feet from the light. I got to go somewhere. Get in that lane. Move the fuck over. Get in that lane already if you're going to be turning left. And why are you doing it so slow? People get into that lane. It infuriates me. I got a little mad there it infuriates me. And like, LA people already don't know how to drive. That's already a thing. Like people here love to go 120 miles an hour or 20 miles an hour. There's not really much in between. It's either you're going deathly fast or deathly slow. And I'm not going to lie, and I might be an island on my own at this one. I'd rather take the fast person. At least do your thing. Go fast, get out of my way. Great, awesome, but slow. And I get it. I understand the streets can be scary. Or you don't like to drive and stuff like that. I'm very well aware of that. I'm around people who don't like to drive. I get it. But you got to you got to at least go the speed limit. For me. If not for me, for the world. Do it for the world, please. And speaking of for the world, that, it was officially voted on and signed on by our commander-in-chief that the TikTok ban is supposedly actually happening. The TikTok ban got past the Senate, got to Biden, and supposedly is getting signed by that man. And there's a possibility that TikTok will be shut down. There is a possibility that TikTok will be shut down. I can't believe I'm saying those words, but at the same time, Vine was shut down, more for spite, but Vine was shut down at some point. And it's crazy to me because, it's a social media app. We don't really see social media apps shut down like that. We see them like fizzle away and no one use them anymore, but we don't ever see them shut down. So that's kind of crazy. I still don't see it happening for many reasons. One of them is because in that bill, ByteDance, who owns TikTok, either has to sell TikTok to another company, or if they don't sell to another company, then they're going to be banned in the US. I think they're going to sell to another company. You have Oracle, you have Microsoft, you have private equity firms that want to buy it, etc. If people have the money, like U.S. companies would probably buy it. If not that, they said they have to sell it, but ByteDance also came out and said if they can't get around this law, because, TikTok thinks it's unconstitutional or it's not legal for them to ban TikTok in the U.S. Again, I didn't even graduate college, so the inner workings of this, I don't know. This is just me reading, Bloomberg and the Washington Post and Forbes, whatever. But ByteDance supposedly said they aren't going to sell it, and if they can't get around it legally, they are just going to shut it down in the United States. Not all over, but just in the United States. Another thing, though, is that the bill gives them 9 months with a 3-month grace period to sell it, which means essentially if TikTok does get banned, it won't be for another whole year. It won't be until April of 2025. So all the people getting scared that, oh my God, they're going to ban TikTok, I got to blah, blah, blah. Even if they do, you have a year. It's not happening tomorrow. It's not happening next month or the month after, or so on and so forth. That's not happening. And yeah, I just don't see it happening. And then another thing that was brought up that I was very intrigued by with the TikTok ban is that they have their 12 months, so April of next year, but the election is January of next year. Now, if another president gets elected and by another president, I mean Trump, he might not have the same feelings. Like, Biden clearly is fine with TikTok goodbye. Trump might not feel that way. Now, obviously, I don't know, but it poses that question. Like, does he really care? Could he use that as leverage? Does he give a shit about TikTok at all, or anything that has to do with the data shit? Like, who knows? So there's a lot that is unanswered. They have a lot of time to figure it out. So a lot of people being like, oh my God, like, it's for real. They're banning TikTok. It's a worst case scenario. If it happens, it's not going to be tomorrow. So you have a plan. And it's funny because as someone who works in social media, it's just going to be like every other thing that happens. When Vine was shut down, people went to YouTube, and then boom, TikTok came up. Now, if TikTok gets banned officially and there's no more TikTok in the US, I do think there's going to be influx of people trying to go to YouTube. I think it'll work for some. And other than that, it'll probably be Instagram Reels. I don't think YouTube Shorts has the motion yet. They don't got motion. I don't think YouTube Shorts has motion yet enough to be that next, quick content thing. I think it'll be Instagram Reels for sure. So Instagram will definitely take that over. Shout out Instagram. But yeah, I'm very curious to see where it goes. Obviously I enjoy TikTok. I like making these videos for TikTok. I like scrolling TikTok, funny videos and shit. So no, we'll just have to see it. And just see where that goes. But that's been another thing that literally just happened. So in the social media world, that blew up in the social media world. And another thing that just absolutely was blowing up the social media world again, and Emma and I talked about it on the last podcast, but WNBA draft, man. WNBA draft. Now, I sat there on my couch and I tuned in to the WNBA draft this year. And I'm not even saying that to sound, like sarcastic or anything, and just in an honest way, I have not tuned into the WNBA draft beforehand. And if we're also being honest, over the last couple of years, I haven't tuned into the NBA draft either, because I really don't there hasn't been any NBA players since Zion where I'm like, oh, so haven't really tuned in for them either. But tuned into the WNBA draft, they broke records there. Obviously, Caitlin Clark goes number 1 to the Indiana Fever. And yes, that's a life update. I got tickets to Indiana Fever versus Los Angeles Sparks, which I'm very excited for because the Sparks also drafted the number 2 overall pick, Cameron Brink. It's going to be an awesome game. I'm very, very excited to be able to see Caitlin Clark play live in the WNBA. Now, I would have loved to see her play at Iowa just because that college feel, everything, fantastic. But I'm very excited to see her in person because I know it's super early. I may sound, naive with it, but I think she's going to be the GOAT. I really do. I think Caitlin Clark is going to end up being one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT, of the WNBA. But she went 1 overall. Cameron Brink went 2. Why am I forgetting her name? Camila Cardoso went 3. And also, their Chicago team is going to be nice. Chicago Sky, the WNBA team in Chicago, drafted Camila Cardoso, who was the center for South Carolina, who just went undefeated and won the national championship. And they also got Angel Reese, who, again, probably the best player on LSU, won the national championship. Crazy. That's, in NBA terms, that was at the time, someone signing Ja and Zion. Or, just 2, imagine drafting 2 top 5 players. Or I guess Angel went 6 or 7, so technically not top 5. 2 top 10 players, both on your team. That's crazy. Now I get it. There's only 12 WNBA teams. That's it after it's going to happen. But it's just crazy. So the Chicago Sky is going to be nice. But no, I'm very, very excited to watch the Indiana Fever game and just get a taste of the WNBA. I think it's going to be dope. Obviously, ever since the Caitlin Clark craze, call me a fake fit, call me a bandwagon, whatever. I'm big on women's basketball right now. And before you do call me a bandwagoner, I've been big on Breanna Stewart, Diana Taurasi, who were kind of haters, Maya Moore, Lisa Leslie, Brittany Griner, Candace Parker. I've been in on the WNBA. I know who these amazing players are. Thank you very much. But I'm just excited to watch it more. I think the WNBA is going to be super fun. I definitely think it's going to bring a way bigger crowd. They're going to be able to of course they want to capitalize off of it, but they're going to be able to capitalize off of it more. And I just think that's going to be dope. Like, shout out these women, yo. Like, truthfully, shout out women taking over shit. Women basketball is going to be dope. On that note, we have the NBA playoffs right now, and yeah, mentally I'm just kind of sad because the Lakers are definitely not going to beat the Nuggets. I don't want to put that energy out there, but the Lakers obviously won their play-in game. Who's their first series against? The Nuggets. And that sucks because the Nuggets are great and their entire team is great, and they have fucking Nikola Jokic. Enough said. And they're down 2-0 right now in the series. So that kind of sucks. And Darvin Ham seems like he doesn't really know what he's doing on that sideline, and it kind of just seems like they're all just running. Like, the game they just played in Denver, AD had 30+, D'Lo had 20+, Bron had 20+. They played a great game, and they blew a 20-point lead. Like, that's, at that point, like, what? 3 of your best players all had a great game. You had a 20-point lead, and you still lost. On a buzzer beater, but you still lost. Like, that makes it to the point where, like, okay, like, you need to get Jokic to foul out in the first half. Like, that's truthfully the only way I see. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, they still have Michael Porter Jr. They have Murray. They got weapons out there in Denver. I'm not saying Jokic is their whole team, because he's not. But just, you got to get that man out. It's not doing any help with him being in. And Lakers is just, it's making me sad. It really is. And I want the Lakers to obviously win another championship. It's just not happening this year, because even if they, God forbid, they get through the West, they got to either beat the Celtics, they got to beat the Heat, and they did beat the Heat in the bubble, so we'll see. But Lakers are just making me sad. I'm trying to think, like, who else has really been killing it low key. Like, Dallas is good. Luka is scary. Luka is a very scary individual. He's so nice, and they're up 2-0 on the Suns right now. I don't see the Suns beating Dallas at all in their series, so I definitely see Dallas going further. OKC, scary. I don't see anybody beating OKC right now. And also, so that's just like a little NBA play. That's a little NBA playoff action right there. East, obviously, Celtics are gonna kill. They're gonna kill shit, but they're gonna beat Miami. I think Milwaukee's gonna advance. Knicks are good. Knicks are gonna beat the Celtics. So we'll see. But that's a little NBA playoff action. But another thing in NBA news is that, and I know this would be a crazy take, I think Kevin Durant is going back to Oklahoma City next year. I'm calling it. I think so. There's been little Easter eggs that have been dropped, and the latest one being Chet Holmgren in a Nike commercial for his new shoe with Kevin Durant narrating it. And obviously, OKC is really young. They're really good. They got some money to spend. And don't get me wrong, obviously KD will get hate for going back to a good team. Of course, that's going to happen. But I think he's going to go back to OKC. And honestly, I'm here for it, because I would not mind OKC, even if it was this year. I would not mind them winning a championship. I think it's dope. Like, I'm actually a big fan of the OKC team. I think it's awesome that, like, they do have stars in terms of, like, Shai, Chet. Like, their team's good. But obviously they don't have your Bookers, Durant, Kawhi, Tatum, Doncic, like LeBron, and they're out here killing it. So, like, I would very much like to see OKC, but then also, like, I also really want to see Minnesota win. But on another note, I do think Kevin Durant is going to go back to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I think he's going to finish his career out there. Because if you do think about it, like, yes, he loves ball. Yes, he's still killing it. But, like, he's been in the league for a long time. Like, Kevin Durant does not have that much longer left. And I'm not saying he's not nice. Like, he's still super nice. Like, he's still able to play. But, like, you're not going to get, another 5-10 years out of Durant. Like, I don't see that. So I definitely see him wanting to finish his career out in OKC. And I kind of think that would be dope. I think it would be really cool to see what he does. Unless he wants to go join Wemby in San Antonio. Not sure there. But, no, I'm excited to see what will happen in the NBA offseason, but we're not there yet. We're still beefing it out in the playoffs at the moment to see where it goes, and West Coast versus East Coast, and we kind of talked about it last podcast where it reignited a little East Coast, West Coast, not technically not New York and LA, but the rap beef that has been taking over the world right now. And I would like to say it's definitely Drake versus Kendrick Lamar, which it is mainly and on the outside, but it's Drake versus everybody right now. And to give you a little backstory, if you don't know what's happening, I'm sure whoever watches this definitely knows what's happening at the moment. But Future dropped an album with Metro Boomin, a song called Like That. Kendrick Lamar had a feature on. Kendrick Lamar definitely was throwing shots at Drake and J. Cole. Definitely mostly Drake for sure, and J. Cole, but it was a Drake. And everyone went crazy over that. They were like, oh shit, like Kendrick threw shots at Drake. It's on, like wait till Drake, whatever. Drake responded, killed them. And by them, I mean, because on the album, and who also kind of weirdly threw shots at Drake, The Weeknd, Metro Boomin, Future, Kendrick Lamar, he wasn't on the album, but Rick Ross, A$AP Rocky, some heavy hitters are coming for Drake, let me tell you. And Drake is in no way, shape, or form backing down from any of it. He seems like he's actually having a lot of fun with it. And I don't care what anybody has to say. I don't care what any annoying ass Kendrick Lamar fan who like, oh, you wouldn't understand Kendrick doing blah, blah, blah. Shut up. Drake murdered all of them on push-ups. Absolutely. Push-ups not only killed them lyrically, it's going, Metro, shut your hoe ass up and make some drums. Drake made a diss track that's absolutely going to be just club certified and whip certified for a minute. I listen to it in the gym. I listen to it in the whip. If it plays on at a club that I go to, I'm bumping and singing along to every... Bro, Push-Ups is probably one of the best disses I've heard in a minute, just from a actual commercial standpoint of like, wow, this is heat. This isn't just some like diss that like, oh, he got him. This is some like an actual song. And he killed him. He really did. Like, he came at Future saying that, like, I put my first number one, it's in your hand. He's coming at Kendrick, being short, small feet, saying that Top Dog is just screwing him and that he's in an Interscope 360. Everyone thought that was Interscope, like a gun. No, it's you Interscope right now, like Interscope Records. Like, people think Interscope is like, a record label owns you. You're in a 360, stuff like that. He came at that. And I'm surprised nobody really wanted to, like, his line, Cash blowing Abel Bread out here tricking. Cash, I don't know his actual name, is The Weeknd's, the head of XO Records. His name's Cash. And Abel, The Weeknd. Like, Drake's name dropping people right now. Crazy. He's at, shout out to the Hooper that be busting out the gritty. We know why you mad. Ja Morant. Like, coming at Rick Ross. Like, Ricky, bro, Drake is... He has something in the chamber. I'm convinced Drake has to have something in the chamber because he's never been this confident and toying with people at a rap battle before. Now, don't get me wrong. There hasn't been a rap battle that Drake has turned down or not gone back at someone for. Meek Mill, Pusha T, now 20 different people. He's gone at whoever's came at him. He's gone back at them. He's not pussy when it comes to that. And hats off to that. But this one, he's killing. He's absolutely killing. He's up 2-0 right now because the second diss track that actually he just took down off his Instagram page today, and people were being so soft about it, was so dope and creative, where Drake obviously dissed Kendrick Lamar, but in that diss, oh, that's the couch. In that diss, Drake AI rapped for Snoop Dogg and Tupac from the angle of Tupac and Snoop were begging Kendrick to come out with his rap while kind of dissing Drake, but also calling Kendrick out to come get, drop your shit. And then Drake killed him on the rest of the rap. And people were so like, no, oh my God, I can't believe you would use blah, blah, when Kendrick did the same thing on one of his songs and used people's faces. Like, get over it. Like, Kendrick sympathizers are so weird to me. Like, get off that man, please. It was creative as shit. It took some ammo out of Kendrick because, like, the Snoop Dogg and Tupac part of it was coming at Drake for certain things, which again, so smart. Like now, if you rap about some of those things, like Drake already said it himself. Like how cool is that? So yeah, I'm very interested to see where this goes. If you want to know where I'm standing on this beef, you think I would ever go against Drizzy, the Six God, Champagne Poppy? Really? Do you think that in any way, shape, or form, if there was a beef between him and somebody, I'm like, I'm siding against Drake? Not gonna happen. Come on now. That man has given me nothing but just straight bangers, literally since I was in like 4th grade, 5th grade. Please get out of here with that. No, absolutely Drake. I'm very curious to see where it goes from here. I've heard that Kendrick is waiting until his next album to, drop the diss, which I think is just so just like baity and you're just really trying to I get it, capitalize off of it, like whatever, but I just think that's so soft. Like drop your diss and then drop your album too. Like you're I don't know if you're too concerned that your album sales are not going to be that great, which it's Kendrick Lamar. Obviously your album sales are going to be good. Like you're not some deal, you're Kendrick Lamar. Like drop your diss. Like I don't know why you have to promote it with the album. People are going to listen to the album regardless. So it's kind of annoying. But no, Drake is just out here toying with everybody on socials. And again, his rap was just crazy. So again, I'm Team Drake. Come on now. Like, if you didn't know that, now you know. But no, shout out that rap beef. And also, one more side note with that. And I wish I could go back and forth right now. I wish I had someone here who was also heavy into rap. Because I think this is such an interesting topic that a lot of people think and again, this is all alleged, who knows, like no one has any facts about this. This isn't a thing, but it's just a theory that I'm like, I wouldn't necessarily see this to be false, but who knows, is that a lot of people think people are mad at Drake because he is the head of something. And by that, I don't mean the head of a label, but just like he either has equity or helps or part owns certain, I don't know whether it's distribution or a label or license, whatever it may be. And a lot of these people have to give Drake cuts of their music because part of it was Drake was really, really close with all the people at Apple Music, and an exec at Apple Music, I forgot what his name was, left and started Gamma Records, and I guess said that he wanted to make the Avengers, supposedly tapped on Drake to help make it happen, and obviously, Drake being very close with Apple Music and that happening, where it's like, okay, and some of these other rappers are signed in some way, shape, or form to Gamma Records, so I'm like, is that something? And then, Drake got a $400 million deal from Universal. For what necessarily? Again, no one really saw the insides of these contracts or really what it was for. So I'm very curious. And again, like Drake is a very, very smart and savvy businessman. He's not some he didn't just get rich just making music. Like Drake is very, very smart when it comes to business. So the theory that he possibly has ownership in certain labels or certain this or that, and again, for the people who are like, what if he has ownership in Universal? But Universal is like a $50 billion company. Drake doesn't own Universal. Drake's not running Universal, Warner, Sony. Though we're talking about $1 billion companies over here. So get that fantasy out of your head that any of that happens. But do I think that some of the smaller ones that are owned by Universal, Drake might? Who knows? But I wouldn't think that's badass. So shout out Drizzy. I'm not going against Drizzy, obviously. But he's the GOAT. What can I say? He's the GOAT, and he's going to continue being the GOAT. So I can't wait until he drops next because he's going to kill people all over again. I think that's dope. Another beef that we don't actually have confirmation on because there was no actual name drop of it was the Queen, Miss Taylor Swift, dropped her album, Tortured Poets Department. And not only that, she dropped 2. She dropped the first one at midnight, and at some point around 2 a.m., she came to Twitter and was like, actually, you know what? because I'm awesome. There you go. I'm giving you another album. So she basically dropped 2 albums, which was sick. Again, I wasn't over the moon about this album like I have about like I bump her past music, but I thought it was a really good album. There was a lot of songs that I was like, okay, like this hits. The You Wouldn't Last an Hour in the Asylum That Raised Me, or I Cry a Lot But I Am So Productive. Like she got some bars in that music. But no, she dropped her second album wow. She dropped her 2 albums, and in these 2 albums, in one of these albums, Taylor Swift has a song called Thank You, Amy. And in the song title, the letters K-I-M are capitalized. And somewhat in the song, some of it's talking about a bully and your kid will know what this song is, yada yada. And a lot of people are speculating that it's possibly a shot at Kim. And I wouldn't doubt it, because Taylor is not forgiven or forgetting any of that. Nor should she. You're Taylor Swift. Do what you want, Tay. And I thought that was awesome, because also, like, not in a rap beef, Taylor Swift really just be coming at people, and I love it. Again, it's mostly usually, like, her past boyfriends and stuff like that, but Taylor really talks her shit. Like, she'll either have an entire song about some dude or maybe just a certain line or something like that, but she be talking. Again, because she is a very, very talented writer. So, and like she writes basically all of her own music. So obviously she's got that skill. But Taylor really be shitting on people, man. Like she really is just like, if I have a like beef with you, you absolutely get in a song about you. I might not necessarily come straight out and say your full name, but my Swifties are going to put it together and they're going to know it's about you. And I'm going to go in on you. And she does it every time. And it's a banger every time. So yeah, Taylor's someone who really is not, she doesn't back down. Like if she don't like you, you're going to hear it. Literally. You're not going to like hear from somebody like, oh, I heard Taylor Swift doesn't like that person. No, it's going to be on a Grammy winning album. It might even be a Grammy winning song. Who knows? But it's going to happen. So no, I thought those 2 albums were dope. Taylor gave us more material, and she's just continuously taking over the world. She is. And, I just think, again, I know a lot of people hate to admit it, but I don't think there's been a bigger star since Michael Jackson than Taylor Swift. And I think if she's not on his level, then she's the closest thing possible to Michael Jackson that there's been. I don't think there's any room for debate or argument of that, because, she literally helps countries' economies and state economies in the United States. So I won't go into that whole spiel, but shout out to Taylor Swift nonetheless. And the last 2 weekends was obviously everyone's favorite 3-day binge in the desert. And yes, I'm talking about Coachella. I didn't go to Coachella this year, and I'm not one of those people who's like, I didn't go to Coachella because it's so whack. I just couldn't afford it, if we're being honest. Like, I really want to go to Coachella. I think for people who hate on Coachella, like, I just think, or people, like, I get it. Everyone has their cup of tea. Like, shoot, I'm not really a big EDM fan, so I'm going to be like, no, I'm good. Like, that Ultra Fest that they have in Miami or whatever. Like, no, I don't want to go on that or go to that. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, fuck those people, or like shit on them. It's just like, that's your type of music. Like, I don't like EDM, but like, you want to go bang your head and just go crazy, go do it. But like, I never understood the fact of like, oh, these people get dressed up to go to the desert. Like, it's fun. Like, usually people are like, they don't get dressed up. They go stand at a club and don't move around and just chill for like 2 or 3 hours and then go home. Like, I think it's kind of fun. Like, you had a theme like at Coachella, you have a theme, and it's just like out in the desert. And it's just like, again, this is just someone who hasn't been to Coachella. Mind you, it's because I haven't lived in California. If I lived in California my whole life, I probably would have been to a Coachella or 2 by now. And part of the reason I didn't go, I mean, on top of being relatively, poor, was it just depends on who the acts are. Like, this year too, like, don't get me wrong, like, obviously it was cool that Billie Eilish got brought out. Obviously Uzi was there, but like, Tyler the Creator, Lana Del Rey, Doja, they're not, I wouldn't say I don't like their music, because again, there's certain songs that they all have where I'm like, oh yeah, but they're not really my like niche of just like, I'm more into hip hop, pop, and stuff like that. So, but no, I would like to go to Coachella, and whoever's hating on Coachella, just stop. Like, just let people do their thing, bro. Like, I don't understand, like, why is that big of a deal? Like, people want to go out in the desert, vibe out. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm very well aware that at least weekend one of Coachella is absolutely, like, who you are. Like, you know, it's mostly just influencers or famous people going to the after parties, and they don't really care about the concerts. But, like, it's the same thing with everything. It's always that. Anytime there's a big thing, like, award show season and stuff like that, obviously people care about. Like, bro, like, the Oscars are dope, but I see more shit about the Vanity Fair Oscar party than I do about the Oscars. Like, I hear shit about Jay and Beyonce's Grammy party than the Grammy. Like, people obviously just, like to do their thing. Celebrities love clicking up like that. So, like, I just don't know why people hate on that. But maybe it's just me. Again, I want to go to Coachella, and because she was supposed to this year but didn't because she loves going on vacation, and I love that for her, there's a possibility Dua Lipa will be one of the headliners next year. If that's the case, I'm absolutely 100% going to Coachella. I need to see Dua Lipa live in person, and I want to go to Coachella anyways. If I can make the two happen at the same time, I think that'd be awesome. Dua's dropping her new album anyways, like May 3rd or 4th or something like that. And that can just be a tour stop. Now, I get it. Dua Lipa, more than anyone in the celebrity space that I've seen, loves her vacations. I would never deprive Dua Lipa from her vacations. I wouldn't do it. She loves them and she needs them. Shout out Dua. But just do Coachella. For if God forbid this part of the podcast makes it anywhere around Dua Lipa or makes it to someone who knows Dua Lipa, please do Coachella next year. I would love to see you in person. I would love to see you perform. The people at Coachella need you, Dua Lipa. It would be a moment. So that's all I'm saying. But I want to go to Coachella next year, hoping it'd be Dua Lipa, and just maybe people should stop, being party poopers. Let people like Coachella. Who gives a shit? That's coming from a New Yorker who's like a trained hater on things. Like, just let Coachella people vibe out in the desert. Let them go be their hippie selves. Like, let them just do that shit. Oh, speaking of like country shit, I guess not country, but like desert, country, who cares, whatever. The Montana Boys. Obviously, I mean, everyone at this point should know who the Montana Boys are, but they're essentially just like a less productive Sway Boys, if that makes any sense. It's a group with 3 now, but it was 4, but a group of 3 jack dudes who used to live in Montana, who seem to only ever do TikToks to that one song. Calling to you when I'm calling. And like one of them dates Christine Cavallari. So like I don't really know anything else about the Montana Boys. That was just on my sheet. They were on BFFs. Shout out BFFs podcast. But they were on BFFs, and I think they said probably like a total of 9 words maybe. Now, given in the BTS footage and stuff like that, they seem nice. I don't really know much about them. They seemed like, they weren't like, they didn't seem like douchebags and shit, but they just seem kind of like meh. Like, they didn't really talk that much. They don't really talk that much in their content. They literally just do TikToks to that one song where they stand in line, and one of them dates Kristen Cavallari. And that's it. I almost had a chance to meet him at an event that we were supposed to go to for work, and I would love to meet the Montana Boys, yo. Like, I just want to ask the Montana Boys so many questions. Like, Montana Boy number 1, what is your favorite song? Montana Boy number 2, how do you like your steak cooked? Montana Boy number 3, did you ever watch Hannah Montana? Like, these are actual questions I would like to ask the Montana Boys, and I'm not sure, but shout out to the one dating Kristen Cavallari. That's a good catch. That's good. That's cool, and they seem like they're having fun. Kristen Cavallari just definitely seems like she's in her I don't give a fuck era, and I'm here for it, because why would you? You're rich as shit, you're single, go date a Montana boy. Go do it. Everyone who's 30 plus and rich and single should go date a Montana boy. Maybe a Nebraska boy. or an Idaho boy. Who knows? But regardless, shout at the Montana boys, yo. That's all. Oh, also, uh, in the I don't know how they correlate at all. Whatever. But regardless, I think it was like 2 or 3 nights ago, Ryan Garcia fought Devin Haney, and I'm not gonna lie, I was also in the crowd that thought Ryan Garcia was just gonna get his ass beat. I really did think that. I'm not gonna lie. Ryan Garcia cooked this man. Like Ryan Garcia, even though like he didn't get the knockout 100%, in no way, shape, or form, Ryan Garcia cooked Devin Haney. Absolutely. And I was shocked. I'll be man enough to admit Ryan Garcia absolutely faked me out with thinking he was crazy as hell. I love it. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. All this type of stuff. Like I figured like, oh, there's no way he's got a mental capacity to do this fight. There's just no way. I was saying third round, fourth round knockout by Devin Haney. I was really thinking that. But Ryan Garcia puts the work in, wins, and then when he gives his speech right after the fight and then his press conference, he's just like, y'all really thought I was crazy? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure obviously he's a little bit crazy, but just like, I mean, all boxers basically are. You're fighting for a living. And then, which that's actually no slight, like, shout out to you guys. But I was like, oh, damn. Like, that was actually such a good promoting marketing tactic. Given it, could have backfired, who knows, but like, just make everyone think you're insane because they're going to tune in to either because it's such a spectacle or they want to watch you get your ass kicked and then you win. Like, that's dope. Like, honestly, shout out. Even though like a lot of the stuff that he was spewing over the last couple months, I'm like, oh my Lord, like Jesus. But he really put in that work. Honestly, shout out Prime. I'm really trying to. Oh, speaking of, I didn't know because I saw a video of this guy who was like scuba diving, snorkeling, whatever, but he was just in the waters, and a manatee comes up and just hugs his leg. And I guess manatees are the cows of the ocean. First off, they're cute, but I never knew they had this rep. I never knew manatees were like the cows of the oceans, like little big ass sweethearts. What, I did not know that. But the guy like kind of had his hands up like this and stuff, and I'm like if a manatee is like coming to hug me, I'm gonna like pet the shit out of it. If it's a little cow of the ocean and it's giving me a hug, I'm gonna give him a hug right back. Like, shout out to you, manatee. I didn't know that it's illegal to touch manatees. I did not know that. Now, I haven't done my research. I don't know if they're close to extinction or what the case is. If they are, got you. Stop touching manatees, people. But I don't think I've ever heard of an animal that it was like illegal to touch. Like, I mean, obviously, like, if you're out on a safari, you're not going to go touch a lion or a gorilla or something like that because you're going to fucking die. But, like, I didn't know, like, non-deathly animals, like, if you're out on a safari or you're somewhere, I didn't know that there was animals that was illegal to touch. Like, you're not supposed to touch them. And a manatee's not dangerous and it's not, like, poisonous or anything like that, but you're just not supposed to touch them. And that's kind of badass for manatees. That's kind of like, yo, like, get off me, bro. Fuck off me, manatee. So I kind of think that's badass. I'm trying to think. Oh, speaking of, at the UFC fight also, Mark Zuckerberg is going through a great rebrand right now, even if it's not intentional. I think he's going through a great rebrand right now because a lot of people saw Zuck after the Social Network and he got more of a name for him in the scene and they kind of thought he was a little robotic and they're just like, what is this guy? And obviously, like, the masses always think certain stuff about billionaires too, and like the top of the top, which he is. But that man is going through I swear, ever since Zuck entertained the idea of fighting Elon, it really started that like uprise of like people really liking him. Like, he kind of got a little bit jacked, started doing jujitsu, and actually kind of looked good at it. Went to Japan and like was doing samurai stuff. Like, loves the UFC and was like backstage of UFC, him and his wife, and he was like joking with the UFC fighter and he said, don't fuck this up, and people were like, holy shit, Zuckerberg swore, like, that's cool. And then he's wearing like these chains now, he looks like cool. And there was like, it wasn't a real photo, but someone screenshotted that and added like a fake beard to it, And the world loved it. The world was like, who is this dude? Like, Zuckerberg, I don't know if it's just him or if it's just on a whim and is happening, but whoever's either behind it or helping him make some of his decisions, like, bravo to you, because people are loving Zuck. I'm one of those people. I love Zuck right now. I'm like, you're cool. Like, keep doing you, bro. So shout out Mark Zuckerberg. Shout out the book. Shout out Meta, bro. And I'm trying to think. Oh, Alex Cooper in the podcasting world. Alex Cooper just got married, and we were talking about it in the office today that because someone we work with was like so intrigued that how big of a spectacle her wedding was and how crazy it was, where it wasn't like there was like hundreds of people there. It was like an intimate thing, but how cool it looked. Vogue Weddings did something on it. Skims did a wedding, like a bridal line around her wedding. And it's just like, I was telling the person that I work with where I know it might be hard for some people to think of, but like I would, and maybe, a lot of people might be like, who's that? But like I would almost probably put Alex Cooper in that A-list category at this point. Like, the rise of Call Her Daddy, what she's been doing, like don't get me wrong, like it's not like her show is televised on a late night TV show or on 60 Minutes or something, but like the community and the type of stuff she's done over the last like 2-3 years, like Alex Cooper is absolutely like, I'd probably say A-list at this point. Is she as A-list as like, an Oprah or Leo or like, no, but just like, because they've been in this for, 20, 30, 40 years. Like, I think Alex Cooper is absolutely at that point now where she's hit A-list. I do think that. And that's why, I mean, shit, Vogue did something on her wedding. That was dope. So shout out Alex Cooper. Shout out Call Her Daddy. And also in the podcast world, and I guess influencer world and whatnot, like, I'm officially in on Jake Shane. Pass that puss. I'm in on Jake Shane. Now, I was never out in like a I don't like this dude way, but I was spectacle where I'm like, oh, like, his skits were funny and stuff like that, but like, what's he like? Like, and I actually got to meet Jake Shane in our office one time because people I worked with were doing something with people he worked with, but like he was working for somebody, whatever. But we got to meet him one time when he was still like working for this dude and not as big of an influencer as he was. And he was nice. Like there was nothing, but I just didn't know anything of him at that point. And then I saw his content. And I was like, oh, he's cool. Like, again, no negative stuff, but I was like, oh, he's cool. And people were raving about him. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm definitely in on Jake Shane now. When I see videos of like him and his friends, just like, you can just tell they're like really stoned and chilling, or they'll like just be, they do their popsicle game, or what he looks like when he does an ice bath, or how out of place he looks when he does Pilates with like, I was gonna say Glenn Powell and stuff like that. Like I'm in on Jake Shane now. I'm a Jake Shane guy. So shout out Jake Shane. I think he's hilarious. I hope one day I could get big enough and I could do Pilates with Jake Shane. I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be a fun time. My legs would be shaking trying to do that one Pilates move just as much as him. So no, I think that's dope. I think he's got therapists, his podcast is going well. Obviously his content goes well, and he's just an entertaining dude. He is an entertaining dude. So shout out past that puss, Jake Shane, you the boy. And no, other than that, we're kind of here. I feel like I covered a lot of stuff, but we're vibing out on this Thursday night. I go to San Diego tomorrow, and USC. So, hopefully I'll get this podcast posted soon. Try to find some other fun guests, but I thought that was a great episode 34. And honestly, I love doing this. Shout out to whoever watches it, even though it's not a shit ton of people right now. It will be. I know it. I'm going to manifest that. But no, obviously fun episode. And until next time, I appreciate you for watching, and peace.